You know that feeling when you reach down into your dress or skirt and you realize there's a pocket? Well, I agree. So you know that one scene in The Little Mermaid where she comes out as a human in a pink dress to join Eric for dinner, and you're like, oh my god, she's so pretty, her wish is coming true, she's gonna get that day. And ever since I was little, I wanted something that would represent that, and I'm gonna make it today using this. A round tablecloth I got at Salvation Army for $4.99. You can pause this part in the video to study the pattern I'm referencing. You know, now that I actually have it sprayed out on the floor perfectly, I am terrified to cut into this. After basically draping it over myself and trying to decide which length is best, I decided that just on my knee for the front and then 8 inches longer in the back should be fine. And so I'm going to cut the top of the waistband, which I really hope that this works out. I'm going to cut the waistband as in like a strip for, I'm going to say 2.5 inches, and then later on you have to put an account for the radius of your waist when you're cutting this out later on. So mine is 4.05 I've calculated. These are the notes I made for myself, and you figured with someone that graduated in technical writing that they'd be better at this, but no. And you also figured that my mom is an accountant and my dad is a tool and die maker. You'd figure that I'd be more tuned in math, but no. So, let's get to cutting. Okay. I'm just gonna assume that it's safe. I'm gonna mark it 2.5 inches. Do you ever have to like self-therapyize yourself when you're doing projects that are really tense for you? Because I do. Am I alone? I really don't want to be alone. Cool. Snippity snips. I'm just looking at my thread and it kind of matches. This is like from the 80s. Should I pin it first? I should pin it first. Yes, I am learning. Heck yeah, we got ourselves a waistband. Okay, so our next step is to fold it again. That's gonna be a joy. So now that it's folded this way, okay. We have to cut out the waist. And I'm nervous. Okay. Alright. Well, this is the 45-degree mark. And I have a protractor. I feel so professional. Done, which this just gave me an idea. We'll see if it works later if I want to use a zipper or hook and eye with like a flap to cover it up. This is exciting. Trying something new. The next step is to pin the skirt right sides together along the sides and then sew it along. For some reason my camera didn't record it this time, so you're just gonna have to believe that I did that. So I really like the idea of having the waistband wrap around me and then I can tie it off in a bow. I just did it and it works perfectly. But I'm thinking, okay, I can do that, but how am I gonna close off the back? 1, 2, 3, Eureka. I can use a hook and eye to close it off. I just need to make another flap under here. And I can use this to cover up the flap just like in my 1890s walking skirt. It's like I have a brain. Could I do it? I have to think. So I gotta sew this on here, but I need to have some sort of foundation for the hook and eye closure. Let me pin this up and then I'm gonna get to the drawing board and I'm gonna think. How did I do it on my walking skirt? Wait a minute. I made it so there was an extension about an inch out, and then the hook was on this side and the flap was on the other. This kind of defeats my plan for making pleats in the back, but you know, we're just gonna see how this goes. I sewed the bottom of the waistband together and then flipped it inside out using a safety pin, which, yeah, sorry, I forgot to press record for that. I'm smart. To finish off the ends, I just sort of folded the ends inside of each other and then sewed along the top to close it off. To make the ends for the back of the skirt, I cut out the extra pieces into rectangles, and then I finished off the edges by just folding it over and sewing it down. So after brief consideration, I kind of want to iron this down, but I am way too lazy right now, and it is 1:11 in the morning right now, and yeah, I think what I'm gonna do now is get some sleep. I'm also doing Playbill's 30-Day Song Challenge Broadway edition, which, you know what? This is a promo anyway. Go follow me on Instagram, the historical cosplayer. Okay, I'm done. Hey, it's morning. I woke up, and last night I had a dream. And I don't really know what it was, but throughout the whole thing, I kept thinking, I need to put pockets on the skirt. I gotta put pockets on the skirt. And I'm gonna do that, except I'm like, okay, but I want to make them inseam, but I don't have enough fabric to make it the same color as that. But then I came up with a brilliant idea. Now, I really hope that this works and it doesn't show through as much, but I just kept thinking, wouldn't it be cool to have secret pockets that are bikes? And let me tell you, you have to listen to your dreams, because I did not regret this decision at all. I learned how to sew inseam pockets into the skirt using the sewing book by Allison Smith. And so far I've been enjoying the book very much. The instructions are somewhat easy. I did get a little bit stumped at times, but overall I'm still glad that I can learn from the books. I'll provide a link to the printable pocket pattern below in the description box. Now, how the book explains it goes as such. Place the pocket to the garment, right side to right side, matching the tailor's tacks, and neaten the edges. Pin in place. Sew the pocket in place using a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Sew between the tailor's tacks. Repeat the process for the back of the garment. Open the pocket out and press the seam towards the pocket. Place the back section of the garment to the front, right side to right side, matching the seams together above and below the pocket. Sew a 5/8 seam to join the front and back of the garment together. Make sure the seam extends past the pocket stitches before stopping. Sew around the pocket to join the two pieces together. Stop sewing for the pocket at the pocket to garment line. Neaten the raw edges of the pocket. On the garment back, clip the seam allowance to the pocket line. Press the seam open. Press the pocket towards the front of the garment and press on the right side. The pocket opening is discreet. Did you get all that? Good! I also took the time to iron the waistband. I found the center front of the skirt by folding it over, and then I started pinning the waistband to the skirt, right sides together, starting center outward along the edge. Then I sewed it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but I stopped a couple inches from the back so that way I could make a decision. Alright, now I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can. So this is the waistband, like this is the kind of sash that I planned on wrapping around to tie around myself, and this is the flap that I planned to do so that way I can have a hook to go over it. Well, it looks like if I make the sewing as such, and I have this flap end just below where this is going to be, so that's going to be covered. This is where the loop for the hook goes. And then on this side, if I can do this, and I hope it focuses all the way, it'll cover this up, and then I can trim this if I need to. But the loop would be here, the hook would be there. I do that, and then this can go right over it. I'm just debating on whether or not I need the rest of this fabric for it to be there. Kind of like how I'm gonna probably hand stitch it together so that way there's more security. But I want there to be room for me to actually have that tie and it's not too bulky. So I could maybe, if I'm thinking right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep going with the waistband on this side because it might feel a little bit weird on myself if I end the tie here, but it's much closer to the center of the back right here. So I'm gonna finish off the left back side first, and then I'm gonna focus on the right. I sewed the left flap first because I figured that it would offer more of a guide, so to speak, so the right side would be easy to alter. I also sewed the rest of the waistband to the left side. I made sure the right side would cover the left side perfectly and sewed it as such. The end is near, my friends, and I am quite happy. So this was what I was trying to explain earlier. So this is the flap, and this is where it would cover over to be that, and then that way these ribbons can just go on ahead and I can tie it off. Now I know that this looks kind of silly, but I really had no other way to prevent that. I'm not quite sure why it happened, but I just tried to cut off the excess and hopefully no one will be looking at my butt. I kind of hope that it would end up more like this, where it kind of just gradually does that as you flip it over. So now all I have to do is stitch this to that with the little hand stitching. Sew on the loop and the hook, hem the skirt, and then we're done. As I hand stitched the flaps to the waistband, or sash at this point, I made sure to only pick up the bottom layer so that way it wouldn't show through on the other side. She beautiful, but she ain't done yet. After some considerations, I kind of like how the ends are already done, like they're serged over and they're overlocked, but I have to figure out where this meets up, so I just pinned it up right now to see if they would match, and I think I'm just gonna hand sew it down because I feel like that would be gradual, and afterwards this skirt is done. Honestly, seriously, look at those pockets. Look at those pockets, they're beautiful! I'm honestly happier that I decided to hand stitch this part because I feel like if I did it by machine it would be a little bit too aggressive. Using a running stitch also allowed me to see how the skirt was going to fall from high to low gradually, so it all really worked out in the end. And with that, the skirt was complete. And I also wanted to try to bump up my video quality by modeling this outside, but of course, it snowed. Otherwise, please enjoy these close-up shots and the wonders of my cluttered bedroom. And here we are! I am really glad on how it turned out, and I feel like there are a lot of reasons why I shouldn't be a model. Well, there we are. My name's Kaylee. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want, and I shall see you in my next sewing adventure. See ya! I could do this all day. By the way, did anybody notice in the sequel that Melody's birthday party dress kinda resembles Ariel's dress in the previous movie? 'Cause I did. Oh, well, now I know my inspiration for the bow in the back. Gosh!